Hey guys, BKRose9 here, giving you another IPDL Season 4 matchup. This week is Week 10, going up against the Philedelphia Braviaries and Coach Nick, a great battler. Me and him have had a few rivalries. Well, I wouldn't say rivalries, but I've had a few great battles in the past, and I cannot wait for another great one here. So, his team is Mega Altaria, Blacephalon, Tyranitar, Galvantula, Nidoqueen, Togetic, Shiftry, Metang, Necrozma, Keldeo, Blastoise, and Glaceon. So, a few things. He has a really high offensive team with a bit of speed mixed in. So, a little bit of strong style mixed with, so like he's got a little bit of strong style, but it's more on the hyper offense than it is on the speed. So this team is really interesting to me. I feel there are so many threats on this team that he could bring that we just had to prep super hard for it. So with that being said, let's get into our team. So first up, we have our Mega Beatrill, aka Trifecta, running the Agility, Poison Jab, U-Turn, and Drill Run. Now you may be thinking, why Drill Run, or why Agility if you are Jolly Nature? Well, let's just say I am afraid of webs. Very, well, I wouldn't say very afraid of webs, but I can see him bringing webs this week, in which I just bring Agility, I become a +1, and I can basically just kill what I need to. Of course, Poison Jab, for his huge threats of Mega Altaria. I don't think Galvantula would like to take one. When I calc this, I believe Togetic could take one, but it cannot switch into one. If Shiftry wants to come in, fine. We'll just U-turn afterwards. Metang does not want to take a Drill Run, nor does Nidoqueen or or Blacephalon. Tyranitar doesn't want to take a U-turn. Necrozma doesn't want to take a U-turn. Keldeo does not want to take a Poison Jab. Blastoise is probably the only thing that can body this thing, and Glaceon does not want to come in on a Poison Jab. So, next up we have Permafrost, our choice banded Mamoswine, running Earthquake, Icicle Crash, Ice Shard, and Super. For some reason, I don't know why, Ice Shard just seems to be a way to go, especially against things like a possible Dragon Dance Mega Altaria, and against a possible Chlorophyll Shiftry. Other than that, Icicle Crash basically helps me get a whole bunch of damage on things. Earthquake, basic thing really, to be honest, is probably for the Metang and Nidoqueen if I am locked into Earthquake. If locked into Icicle Crash, I'm pretty sure Nidoqueen does not want to come in. And then Superpower, basically for the Tyranitar. Next up we have Zapper, our Assault-Vested Electros, running Volt Switch, Giga Drain, Flamethrower, and Signal Beam. Signal Beam, real quick, for that Shiftry, because Shifty, for some reason, even though I don't think I had it coming, no I did not, could be a threat. As well, Flamethrower basically can hurt this thing, especially if he wants to come in Sun. It also hurts the Galvantula. Volt Switch can hurt the Keldeo a lot, along with Giga Drain. As well, Giga Drain if we want to expect an incoming Nidoqueen or an incoming Tyranitar switch in. And basically just Volt Switch is there just to kind of get rid of the Keldeo and Blastoise, as well as get rid of any lost momentum that we ever have. So, next up we have Calypso, our Marvel Scaled Flame Orb Melodic, running Scald, Toxic, Recover, Ice Beam. If I just get a Toxic off on anything, mainly the Mega Altaria, then we are perfectly fine. If we don't get the Toxic off on Mega Altaria, then that's okay. We're just gonna have to find a way around it. As well, I feel Ice Beam can really hurt it a lot. We got the Recover just in case anything bad really happens and we need to basically hightail it. And then Scald basically for the Nidoqueen. I feel like the biggest threat to this Melodic right now is the Shiftry, which is why I also brought Ice Beam. But other than that, I don't see any trouble. I mean, possibly the Tyranitar if it starts crit Stone Edging, but I am not sure. So, next up is Katsugu, our Choice Scarp Zoroark, running Focus Blast, Dark Pulse, Extrasensory, and Flamethrower. Extrasensory for that Keldeo, because Keldeo, very fun. We also have Flamethrower for the Shiftry, Dark Pulse for Necrozma, which I know I have not talked much about, sadly. And then Focus Blast for things like Tyranitar. Just a basic Katsugu set. Although if we are under webs, it's a little bit of a problem because we will be at like 338, but you know, it is what it is. And so, finally, we have Swag Kiss, our leftovers Togekiss, running Thunder Wave, Air Slash, Roost, and Defog. Yes, I am starting to realize that Defog is a priority on this thing. Sometimes. Anyways, Thunder Wave just to cripple down any fast mons like Blacephalon, Keldeo, Mega Altaria, if under D-Dance, might I add. And then just a couple other things, like a possible autonomized Necrozma. As I watched, he can bring that a lot. A Shiftry, who wants to sit up under Chlorophyll. And just other things like that. But it's nothing really that huge to worry about. But Air Slash basically is just for his flying type weakness. I feel like he has a pretty moderate flying disadvantage, but like I said, this thing's main thing is to defog and Thunderwave things. So with that being said, let's get into the battle. So sorry, he brings the Mega Altaria, brings the Galvantula, Necrozma, Shiftry, Keldeo, and Tyranitar. Jesus Christ, I'm still having flashbacks. So he didn't bring the Blacephalon, but instead brought the Altaria, so that's perfectly fine. And he didn't bring the Nidoqueen, but brought the Shiftry. So that's very interesting. But it is what it is. So with that being said, I decide to think about something. Think about whether he wants to get up his rocks or wants to get up his webs. In which I'm thinking his rocker is either Necrozma, Tyranitar, or he just wants to get up webs with Galvantula. In which I'm just like, alright, we're just gonna lead off with Zapper, see how this goes. He most likely goes Galvantula, and bada bing, bada boom, 1 for 1 on them predictions. I go for the Flamethrower, and then he makes a huge misread in going into Keldeo here. Love that shiny Keldeo. And I switch out into my Permafrost here, after going for that full switch. I go for the Ice Shard. Ice Shard luckily kills, and in comes Reptar the Tyranitar. I go into Calypso because I really want to get that that Flame Orb up. But if he ended up going for the Toxic, that would have been really huge. He goes for the Thunder Punch, revealing that. As I go for the Recover, that thing does nothing because we are Marvel Scale boosted. Stone Edge showing that it does as much as Thunder Punch, as I just keep recovering up. At this point, I can just keep going. He goes into Galvantula as I go for the Recover. I decided not to. I just decided to go into Zapper, just because he goes for the Energy Ball, and then ends up going for the Thunder here. I Volt Switch, and I send out my Katsugu here. Disguised Permafrost. So I went for the Dark Pulse. I get the flinch luckily, and I was really confused at first. I was like, I wonder what he thinks that this thing is. In which now I go into my Spike Kiss. I decided to I decided to Air Slash here. I could have honestly defogged, but I just didn't want to risk anything. I went for the Thunder Wave and then went for the defog, and he gets parried luckily. So I don't know what his play would have been there, but it's fine. I go for the Air Slash, and I'm just like, let's do this. Air Slash, going again. There we go. In comes Reptar, and we just go straight back into our Calypso. So yeah, we doing what we doing. Now that I'm thinking about this, because for some reason I was looking at something, but I might just be wrong. So as you can see, he just Stone Edge Crunch, trying all that he can to break this beautiful wall, and no luck whatsoever. I then recover again. He crunches, he finally gets that defense drop, and I'm just like, we're not dealing with this. So in comes our Permafrost, our Katsugu, my bad. And he goes into his Altaria, he goes for the Draco, thinking that it's the Mamoswine, and he ends up killing our Katsugu. I then go for the U-turn, predicting Reptar to come in. He goes for the Draco. Draco's not going to do anything to us. In which I just go straight for that Recover, I believe, yep, and we started just figuring out what his plans are to, like, for things. I get the burn here, which basically ends up giving me the game for the most part, as I just end up just keep recovering. I have about 10 recovers at this point, and I just want to seal the deal. So I go for the Scald here. I don't have much to worry about unless I start getting defense drops, and I just end up keep recovering. He goes for the Stone Edge. Stone Edge is 15%. 15, that is very low, my dude. And he goes for the, or I go for the Scald. I kill him. He takes a risky play in going for the Sunny Day. I just click Ice Beam. I was willing to sack the thing off, and that thing goes down to an Ice Beam. This thing lives on about 6%, misses the Draco, which did not really matter, as we seen from the last time the Draco did anything. I kill him with Ice Beam, and Melodic, baby. Whew. Man, you are feeling good right now. So quick thing to really analyze on this whole thing. Melodic, Calypso is 12 for I believe the number was 12 for 4 in 8 games, which I cannot imagine. I really can't. As well is actually top 5 in the league. So really proud. I think that this game basically can set a pace for playoffs. Of course, we have 4 more games left. I could probably tell you them right now which is next week we go up against Afonso and the Lisbon All-Stars. And then week 12 we go up against Leafy and I forget what Leafy's team name is. Then we go up against a really hard opponent in Flygon. And then it's Bryn and Tash in week 14 and week 15. Looking at the at our Division 4 playoffs, we have hit I wouldn't say a rocky path between week 13 and the end of the season, but I will say nonetheless that we are looking really good. Because 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, we got 5 games left, and we so far have a 2-game lead for second place against our mentee in the Wyandotte Ashies, who are currently 3-7 at -12, as we are currently 5-5, -5 with this victory. Of course, in 4th place we have the 3-8 as of right now. Cyndaquils with Coach Agronix losing this week, or losing week 11 in a 2-0 loss, which means it basically means this: with 5 games left, if I win next week and the Aussies lose, we could basically have a chance to clinch playoffs with a victory against Leafy. But at the same time, it is what it is, and all we can do really is hope. So until next week when we face off against Afonso. Actually, a few more things I could actually mention real quick. One thing really is that we didn't get to use the heat. We didn't get to use the agility, which kind of sucks. But you know, it is what it is. We got the defog. We did what we had to do. We are chilling. So now, with that being said, thank you guys for watching this video. If you enjoyed, hit that like button down below. Subscribe, because your support is definitely, most definitely, totally forgot, is appreciated. And with that being said, until next week, Afonso, I know you are watching. Cannot wait. And until next time, peace out, Mikuans.